In your politics headlines, well, we have an update on the breaking news we brought to you at the top of the hour. After it was announced that the second presidential debate will be held virtually, President Trump said this morning he will not do a virtual debate with Biden, and he said that he doesn't want to waste his time on a virtual debate and will instead hold a rally.
And President Trump declares on Twitter that he's cured of COVID-19 and heads back to the Oval Office to hit the pause button on stimulus talks.
Yes, Tracy Potts has our story this morning.
The president popped up back in the West Wing after his doctor said he had no fever for 4 days and no symptoms for 24 hours. The recommendation is to isolate for 10 days, but the president says he feels great.
So this was a blessing from God that I caught it.
President Trump out of isolation, back in the Oval Office, praising the experimental antibody cocktail he's taking.
I'm going to make it free. You're not going to pay for it. It just made me better. Okay, I call that a cure.
I think it's a tragedy that the president deals with COVID like it is something not to be worried about. When all the way 210,000 people have died, I think it's a travesty.
He's back in the West Wing with limited staff and protective gear, on the phone with Republicans about the coronavirus stimulus.
The stimulus negotiations are off. If the speaker is willing to look at those things on a piece-by-piece basis, then we're willing to look at it.
A piecemeal deal, $1,200 checks now, money for testing, schools, renters, and businesses on hold.
All he has ever wanted in the negotiation was to send out a check with his name printed on it.
Outside Washington, workers are suffering.
The partisanship is just totally ruining everything for us.
We've dipped into savings that are supposed to be for our kids. And I just don't know if there's recovery from that if nothing gets done.
Economic recovery delayed by a president who says he's cured of COVID 2 days after leaving the hospital. So it's day 3. We'll see if the president shows up in the Oval Office again today. Meantime, we're watching the markets. The Dow first dipped but then rebounded more than 500 points after President Trump announced he was dealing with the stimulus.